everybody. Yes, my name is Kgolo Tembu, also known as Kgolo Daguru. So I own a hospitality group called Luma Hospitality Group. We own Luma Sunsets, which is a sun deck. We also own Rich Durban nightclub. We also have views at 25, the rooftop. We also have other restaurants, cafes, and coffee shops. Yeah, so that's Guru. That's who I am. I'm the CEO. I've been in the industry for over 15 years, but professionally, and I've done as a kid. I've been just doing events and being a promoter. But as time went by, I started acquiring shares in spaces, and now I own these spaces, and I'm also in a bit of property business as well at the moment.
Oh, sorry, I'm on mute. So, Kgolo, sorry about that. I was on mute.
It's okay. I was wondering, maybe I'm supposed to go on. No, it's fine.
So, what
Yeah.
makes your club views at 25th? Why that name?
What makes it what?
What makes
What
it
makes it
unique?
what? So what
Unique.
makes views unique? What makes views at 25 unique? It's because it's a hybrid space. When I say hybrid space, like it can start as a day cafe, later as a sunset bar, and then as the night progresses, then it's a high energy space. It is a rooftop. It's facing one of the most beautiful, iconic stadium, which is Moses Mabhida. It's become, known for great food and great service, and we come up with a lot of experiential events. So it's not just with okay, we have people coming through, and it's just good service and product. We also curate moments that make someone, to say yes, I've never seen that, and you know what, I want to come back, or I want to bring a friend to come and experience this moment that we have. Next.
Yes.
I've faced a lot of I've faced a lot of challenges, because and I think even my other colleagues will testify as well. Uguti, the investors and banks don't really believe in anything that has got alcohol, clubs, parties. They see it as parties. So to build a business plan and go to potential investors and banks, it's a longer red tape, and admin, and it's still hard for a bank to support you. So I've had the worst. I took the worst route, which is pretty much self fund a lot of my establishments, and I started small, and without the right support from the bigger the banks and potential investors. So those are the challenges, I've had. I've been lucky. My family always supported whatever I did. When I to resign and be a club promoter, my mother was not excited, but I had to do it. But I've always worked hard and making sure, Gucci, if I believe in something, I'll put my money into it. And that's where, I had the biggest challenges. And also, the biggest challenges as well is that when you introduce a trend or an original idea, it takes a while for people to understand. When I introduced bottle service in Durban, this was 2000 and sure, in 2012, and I was trying to explain to people, Uguti, I don't want just messes anymore in my clubs. Only I want to understand, Uguti. I want a balance of having someone also experience service. With more figure in our place establishments, you can sit down and you book a table. You can sit down, then we give you a good service. A lot of people were offended and they didn't understand, which why should we book to be in a club, when we came to dance, but then not understanding Guti, our rates of running a club were high, and my expenses were high. So the game was starting to change where we are trying to give you guys a 5-star clubbing environment. Therefore, we need to give you a 5-star service. But the way you can give a 5-star service, you sitting down, we serve you, but you also pay a tip. And the tip is not
Therefore,
just
we
it's
need
not
to
for
give you a
me.
5-star service. But the way you can give you a 5-star.
I'm sorry about that.
The tip, no problem. The tip is for the staff. It's distributed amongst everybody. It benefits them. So what that does is it makes someone's life better. When it's just a normal club environment, umuntu uyafika athenge a bar. Sometimes they tip, they don't tip. So just to change the model of in nightlife as a Durban took me a while. And eventually now a lot of guys have picked up in the trend, which is amazing in Durban. So you can book a table, get experience, and now you've introduced a food element to it. And now what you're doing, creating more job opportunities. No longer just a DJ and a bartender and a security. There's waiters, there's hostesses that carry the bottles and the sparklers. So you are now creating a bigger food chain. So I've had a lot of challenges just changing the model of the business, but we've also now everybody will tell you, Gucci, if anyone was in hospitality, we're the hardest hit in COVID. But we had to re-strategize. I've seen my guys. I mean, I'm inspired by a lot of the guys in Joburg as well, from Ekasi to Sentin. I look up to my colleagues here. I look up to a lot of the guys in the industry internationally as well. And the way we had to readjust our model and adjust to lockdown restrictions, and now creating daytime experiences to make people come out early and also retain imsebenzi, because another thing is that we didn't want our guys to suffer, and there's more, and then it creates more crime in our spaces. Later on, I've been a big victim of the big looting that happened with the unrest. I've had those challenges, but I've got a fighting spirit, and my fighting spirit is like I'm not gonna allow any negativity bring me down. In fact, when when you put me to the test, that's when I push harder and I recreate. And we were looted. One of the guys, few venues that were looted in terms of a nightclub restaurant in Durban, but we've just revamped now. It's looking even better. So the setback was actually a setup for us to have a better comeback. And I always tell my team, all those negativities is part of the journey, it's part of our story. And that's why we tell beautiful stories of our establishment, Uti, where we come from. We like doing throwbacks of our places when it was just, one chair there, an old second-hand table, a broken, you know, some broken decor, when we're still trying to make it happen. Because all our places, they've never been like 100% like beautiful. Sikala with what we have. And I tell the team, start with what you have. Yes, there are beautiful venues out there, but if you're gonna say, I ngizokala the day I have the money to do it, then you're not gonna start. So hire a chair, hire a DJ box, and do it. And then once you start doing it, you put some money aside to revamp. So all our spaces, most of them have been started with the beautiful story of being yabo nje, basazama shem, asibasupport. And we appreciate the people because we are here. We started there. Maybe now moving forward it's different, but we started with just being usazama Kgolo asimsupporte, and then we do that. So those challenges are just been, there's been a lot of challenges, but those are just one of the few. We've had a shooting where someone died, and now to bring back a brand where someone is shot outside your establishment, it does, to people it doesn't matter. It's like someone, they always say, Guti, if someone is drinking outside or total accident, you are still responsible outside your premises because you gave them the alcohol. If someone was in establishment and the outside they're fighting, someone dies. So to really go through that situation where someone dies and someone, a close customer to you, and you have to go bury the customer. It really hits you hard. You know, you have to do counseling to go to do counseling for yourself, and also it just your staff. You need to make sure what they're okay. So there's a lot of challenges. I can spend the whole day just giving you all the challenges because but with all the challenges, we've managed to find the positivity. How do we bring back? How do we then make sure that our security is better? How do we make sure we just over and above that? You know, if you saw a customer like is a bit too drunk or is vulnerable, check up on your customer. You know, get if you don't call them directly, I tell my GMs, I tell my managers, my promoters, to check up on that customer. When I saw the customer leaving, he was not okay. So we're doing that now, just over and above, just to make sure our guys are okay. But yeah, we are here today, and thanks to God, we've survived the COVID, survived the looting, we survived the worst experiences in our establishments.
So, Kgolo, how has like that experience made you a better entrepreneur today?
Which one exactly?
You can choose
the so
Yeah,
like I said, you know, what doesn't kill you, you know, it said what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
yeah,
But the reality is we Tina, you know, we don't understand counseling, how important it is. You know, you're growing up single mother, single parents divorce, and then you become a broken man. You can't treat your wife properly, or you become short tempered, do that, and then everything even work. You end up somehow being a certain type of a leader because we fail to understand Uti. There is certain steps that we need to take. As the black guys, we don't know these things, but I've learned, which you know, you gotta do certain things where you are one, you need to find peace of mind. Okay, so there has to be a time where you switch off your phone, you take a holiday, can be a short left, don't have to leave the country. You have to be able to take care of the will, your health, what you eat. So somehow when you're experiencing all these things, you need to deal with them holistically in terms of your peace of mind, what you eat, and the relationships that you're building just out of work as well. So I mean, I found a lot of ways of dealing with my tragic moments, my pressure moments, and it has really worked for me. My wife will tell me we're going away on a weekend, and I'll know, I say, baby, but I'm busy, let's go. But you come back refreshed, less stress, and you become a better person, you become a better leader, you become a better husband, you become a better father. As soon as you start understanding, Wuti, how you balance your entire lifestyle, even though you're facing serious challenges in Zini, you still need to switch off and take care of yourself, you know. So mina ngiyathi sekase Soweto, never had any mentoring on business. I've just been exposed through what I could at the time. So my mother was a social worker, and my grandmother was one of the first shipping queens, Soweto Mroka. And obviously through that, you know, I managed to pick up certain records, my father's records. You know, when my father divorced, he left the records at home. A lot of stuff, he left it there. So that's when I started understanding the culture of music and understanding the hospitality business as a whole. And my passion has always been events. I never really thought I'll be a businessman where now I can hire people and own properties and build developments. But so just being that and my exposure in my experience in eventing, I met a lot of people, and eventually someone said, you must study advertising. And I studied advertising. I did some brand building for a lot of international brands, but a part of me was like, you need to be in the space of hospitality and events. And when I moved to Durban, I approached a couple of hotels, restaurants, nightclubs at the time, and I came up with strategies on how they can get the market that we have now as they call it the main market, the black diamonds. But through that, because at the time the venues were owned by white people and Indian people. So I saw a gap to say, let me bring you these people who will come and spend a lot of money. And time went by. Fast forward, I started acquiring my shares in some of the nightclubs, profit share, not even owning the equity. But I said, no, I need more. I need to own my own place. If I'm not gonna just promote in DAO and just be excited, Gucci, there's just a lot of girls. I'm making money at the door. I need to own, because then that's when I can grow. Fast forward, where I am now is a self-made, entrepreneur. No rich father, no rich mother, no tenders. I've never done tenders in my life, but I've always seen a gap in marketing, and I've always said, okay, here is a gap. Guys want our big spenders. Here's an opportunity in the culture where a lot of black people, a lot of white and Indian people did not understand. I understood it. So there was a culture, it grew at Durban, quite a movement. I was a pioneer of Durban, quite a movement. Myself, Zex Bantuini, DJ Tira, Chinaman, we're part of that culture. When that revolution started, I was pioneering that with the guys. They were producing, I was doing the events. But later it moved. Now there was gom and there was hip hop. Now it's Amapiano. Only now it's in Durban we are starting to understand that. But you still wanna. So what we've now attached our businesses into each culture. So we always say, Guti, if you want to be successful in this industry, especially the nightlife space, you need to attach it to a culture. And it was hard for Durban to get the Papiano movement going on, but we did it. But we now slowly, the guys now understand that if you want to be successful, don't be stubborn about your sound. You gotta give the people what they want. And it's always been about me, Guti. I see an opportunity and I go for it. The restaurant industries where I am now is I saw an opportunity. There were not enough black brothers that were doing this, black entrepreneurs in the restaurant industry. And that's when I saw a gap. Like, I'm now want to own it. Now I've taken it further where I'm in the coffee business, and I'm like, I don't want Magama Poda to close us down, and then I can't sell alcohol. Then I'm in trouble. Coffee sells from morning till late. So I've now produced my own coffee. In fact, I import it from Italy. I roast it in Italy. I package it and I distribute to prime restaurants in Umhlanga. And I want to roll it out to Durban, and hopefully with my colleagues here we're in the interview with now, maybe one day I can start speaking to them and say, guys, here's a black-owned coffee brand, quality AAA brand. Let's do that. Then we can grow like that. So my entrepreneurial journey is pretty much coming from humble background to just seeing an opportunity and just always creating good relationships. And that's pretty much who Kgolo is. It's not a guy that was coming from like a spoon-fed. It's about a hustle. It's about really being seeing the opportunity and using my hunger and seeing an opportunity to grow and do better and better. So I think one of them is brand building, because we don't understand which you can own a brand, call it views at 25, and it can be successful where you are, but there's big opportunities where you can make that an IP and register it as an IP, and from there you develop certain collaterals where you can then expand it into becoming a franchise, and also create it in a way, Yoguti, you have certain SOPs, standard operation procedures and manuals that if anything happens to me today, my kids, my managers can open the document and they can carry on with the business. And that's how the other guys have created legacies and generational wealth. And that's how the other, races have become billionaires. Hello? Are you there? Mo, you there, ne?
We're still here, sir.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So I say that's how the other products, I'm going to mention names like your Cubanas, your Capellos, used cafes, spares, whatever, you name it. Even hotels, Tsohosans, they've created such brand IP and collateral standard SOPs where they've developed and they've sold it to other cities, other countries. There has to be that we need people with the strategic mind and trade marketing head to come and help our brothers and myself, Guti. They must take us there. Why can't our establishments grow to be franchised and without us being there all the time? I want to be able to be focusing on my kids when my business are operating without being worried. Are the guys curating the right service, providing the right offerings? So there is a big gap for us. I want to be able to buy booth and put it in Mhlanga, and the guys and the guys can, whatever it is, whether it's Kabelo's establishments, and I say, Kabelo, I really like what you're doing with Kasi Empowerment. I want to buy, you can keep I'll pay you royalties for your brand, but let me put it emlazi kwamashu entuzuma, because I understand how important is township tourism. Why should I start something else when I can buy it for my brothers, or even not Sofeng, Konka, whoever it is, so that's the gap that I see. And also from an advice perspective is that with the youth and Kgolo then, when I was young, if I'd received the advice of just always put God first and don't be embarrassed because you are doing nightclubs, it doesn't matter, because more than anything, you are most vulnerable as someone who's in the industry, security, nightclubs, so you need God first to guide you, and don't lose also your Africanism. Don't lose who you are as Umzulu or Umsuthu or Umpedi, or whatever you are. Always understand, Uti, we are Africans at the end of the day. You must always know, Uti, you need to be able to have a balance of everything, mentally, spiritually, physically, financially. You need to be able to understand, Uti, God first, your Africanism as a person. Don't lose your identity on that. And then I like what Kam was saying about push West African food. Yes, that's the beauty of us as Africans. We mustn't lose that because there's hip hop or there's something else. We must always be ourselves. Don't have an identity crisis. And find a mentor. Find a mentor. Find someone that will always just guide you, and don't be too much on your mentor. And don't when you have a mentor. A lot of people do a mistake, they want to be mentored, but they don't know how to ask the right questions. And then they'll annoy someone like Ukabel, who's busy, he's got multiple businesses. Kamo, same thing, is busy. And you want to be mentored, but you can't ask the right questions. So if you want to be mentored, please ask the right questions, because sometimes you only have one chance to sit with your role model. Don't sit with your role model and don't ask the right questions, because next time he's gonna feel like you're wasting his time. So that is a 2%, 10 cents or 5 cents of my advice to the youth and people look up to what the other entrepreneurs, the leaders out there routine. Know the right question, ask the right questions. Don't waste your mentor's time.